Today is December the 14th. Why do we eat so much during the holidays? You know, Scripture tells us. Let's find out together from Isaiah chapter 25. In Isaiah chapter 25, we catch just 3 verses that talk about the coming Messiah. Verses 6 to 8, in Jerusalem, the Lord of heaven's armies will spread a wonderful feast for all the people of the world. It'll be a delicious banquet with clear, well-aged wine and choice meat. There he'll remove the cloud of gloom, the shadow of death that hangs over the earth. He'll swallow up death forever. The sovereign Lord will wipe away all tears. He'll remove forever all insults and mockery against his land and people. The Lord has spoken. Isaiah says 3 things about the coming day of the Lord and the coming Messiah. He'll prepare a feast, and the feast will be for everyone. He will overcome death, and he will bring honor to his people. Now it's interesting, the idea that the coming Messiah will prepare a feast for everyone. Where does that come from? As I looked for this, for an answer to that question, and with it the question, why do I eat so much at Christmas time, at Thanksgiving? It's interesting to note that the special times that God separates for people to honor him, all but one are feasts. All but one encourage a sharing of food and a sharing of lots of food. We have the Feast of Unleavened Bread, the Feast of the Passover, in which an entire lamb was consumed. The Feast of the First Fruits, when harvest came, the first part of the harvest was celebrated and people came together and ate. The Feast of Weeks, or the Feast of Pentecost, the Feast of Trumpets, and the Feast of Tabernacles or Booths. Now, repeatedly throughout the Old Testament, the Lord called his people together to eat. I think one of the reasons is that he wants to very carefully communicate to them that God provides. God gives them, God gives us what we need to survive, starting with food. And so when we come together, it's appropriate to eat together, remembering that it is God who is making provision for us. In that provision, he overcomes death as well, the shadow of death that hangs over the earth. He will swallow up death forever. I wonder if Isaiah wasn't remembering that first Passover, when God provided for Israel. They ate an entire lamb, and the next day they started on a 40-year journey through the wilderness. But that night, they were protected from the angel of death that passed over the land of Egypt. When the Messiah comes, he too will swallow up death. It's appropriate for us to remember him, to remember God's provision during this Advent season. Please like, follow, and subscribe to this podcast on whatever platform you use to listen to it. Email your questions to us at questions@becomehope.com. Tomorrow, we'll ask the question, will the Messiah trash talk his enemies?